Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here with us today. Welcome back, our guest host, Lorenzo, with back at it again with another episode here on Season 8, episode number 17, here on the Fire Sports Pod, powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. Let's get right into the show we have today. We got a crazy show. We got a lot to talk about in a little bit of time. We're going to be talking about Micah Parsons ended up saying, "Hey, I want out of Dallas." Scary Terry McLaurin wants out of Washington amid of stalled contract talks. So we'll see what happens there. Our top landing spots for both of these superstars, or do we think they should just stay in their respective places? And then last but not least, we'll go over a little bit of the MLB trade deadline. Lorenzo will have all that situated on his side, and we'll just go over some of the top winners of this trade deadline. And then we maybe touch a little bit on how the Yankees just blew a 9-4 lead against the Marlins. So other than that, let's just get moving because I'll stay on that topic for 25,000 minutes on how the Yankees suck. We're gonna move and we're gonna start with the biggest news today, which is Micah Parsons. Obviously, as a Cowboys fan here, this was not the news I wanted coming after a landscaping job all day. Didn't want to hear my pass rusher is going to want a trade. I just don't understand what the hell Jerry Jones is doing. I don't know if he is on crack. I don't know if he's. To be honest, I just don't know. I can't even put it into words on how frustrated I am on how we can't get this guy paid. It's not like he hasn't done anything, Lorenzo. We all know Micah Parsons is probably one of the best, if not the top three best defensive guys in the league right now, aside TJ Watt, Hendrickson, and then I would say probably Micah would be in that conversation. So, and then Myles Garrett. So I think out of the top four, it's crazy. But here's the news: Dallas Cowboys edge rusher wants out. He posted on Friday afternoon that he personally sent a trade request to the Cowboys CEO and Vice President Stephen Jones. The 26-year-old entered the 2025 season, hopefully all about to getting a long-term contract extension done with Jerry and Stephen by getting contract talks started in one-on-one meetings on January 10th. Dallas inactivity combined with their latest barbs exchanged through media have led Parsons to decide he has enough of playing chicken with a financially future in Dallas. So, what is your initial thoughts, Lorenzo, on my man Micah wanting out? Do you think that it is smart for? Obviously, it's not smart for Dallas to do this, but do you think it's smart for Micah to just want out and try to get somewhere else?
First of all, Zach, happy to be back on the show as always. Um, in terms of the Micah Parsons situation, I gotta say, this is how bad it gets. When you get a player like Micah, who sounds like from what he's saying, he doesn't really want to play as much for the money as much as he wants to play for the Cowboys. Because I recently read a quote from him. I'm not going to read the whole quote because it was a big thing, but he pretty much summed up saying he wants to play for the Cowboys. He wants to bring back. He wants to be the lead in charge of what makes it America's team again, what it's known for. So the fact of the matter that this has been a problem with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys has been absolutely. It's been disgusting, honestly. I think it's been a disgusting whole reason. It's been a whole disgusting thing that this is even a controversy and that he wants out because he has proven that he's one of the most loyal players in an era where many NFL players are really not loyal to their teams. He's been with the team since 2021, and he has been and like you said, he has been one of the top defensive players in the NFL. So I think it's very hypocritical that the Cowboys are really not taking his offer and giving him an extension. It's just wild to me how they wouldn't. And I want to press on what we talked about before the show with Jerry Jones' comments earlier in the comments that you would probably hate to hear again. But Jerry said, well, if we sign the guy, that doesn't mean he's exactly going to be playing for us. which is absolutely insane. I don't know if Jerry forgot to take his pills when he said that, but like I don't know why you would say that in a press conference interview. The guy needs to go at this point as an owner. And if this isn't proof, right? If this isn't like the final proof for Cowboys fans who are still delusional that this team's going to make a deep run, I don't know what is. It's just really a disgusting situation. And he could honestly still stay in Dallas coming next season. I really still think he does kind of want to play for the team. But if you're not going to pay the guy after all, he's been the best player on your team in my book, by far. And I guarantee you almost everyone in the fan base can say that, because who else are you going to say has been the best player? Who else? And so I think it's just so hip. If they lose him this season, that might be one of the dumbest things they've done
since firing Jimmy Johnson.
That might be a bit of a stretch. There's been a couple dumber things, but
no.
That might be one of the dumbest.
There was nothing dumber than firing Jimmy Johnson. There has not been nothing dumber than firing him, because if we didn't fire him, we would have had probably two more Super Bowls. We fired him and we went down the tubes, and we haven't been nearly close to that type of way, defensively, offensively, coaching, special teams, all the work since that time. And I think this probably will be one of the biggest mistakes since then of us letting go this type of a talent. Now, obviously, I can go on a ramble here for 40 minutes explaining on how Jerry Jones is dumb, is hypocritical, is just flat out stupid. But I'm not going to do that, because this is a podcast and we're trying to engage the audience here. So if anybody's in the comment section or in the live right here on TikTok, if you got anything to say, you guys can comment down and we'll answer it. But we're going to move on to asking the biggest question. If he does move, who are the suitable options for him? So for the NFL.com, NFL News, they have New England Patriots at number 1 with a cap space of $59.937 million. Now, the next team is the Los Angeles Chargers, which have a cap space of $31.499 million. Green Bay is next at a cap space of $31.234 million. Then you have the Raiders, $37 million. Arizona, $35. New York Jets, $29. And then you're good. So realistically here, Lorenzo, I would give you two teams that could realistically take him from this list. I'd say New England, because they got the money. The Chargers desperately need it, but it's going to be a stretch there. Green Bay, they could use him. I don't think they're going for him. Las Vegas is something that is tricky. They have $37 million in cap space, and they bring him in alongside Max Crosby. Holy shit. That's a two-man wrecking crew that's going to be dangerous in Seattle with Pete Carroll. That'll be crazy to see. Arizona, no, and Jets, no. So I'd say it's Vegas, it's the Chargers, and it's New England. I think those are the three biggest teams. I think the Chargers are a little bit on a stretch. I think it's New England or the Raiders from this list. Now, I know you were saying before the podcast started that you might think of Chicago. Yeah. You want to tell the audience why you think Chicago?
Well, I think Parsons would be incredible, since he's a guy, especially since, and I'm surprised the list didn't say it, he's a guy that's big on team culture. And the Bears have prided themselves in the monsters of the Midway from the past to now. And I think that he would fit perfectly as the edge rusher for their team, because now you got a new coach, you've fixed your O-line, you're doing all the right moves that they didn't do the year before. And even when they did right moves the year before, it wasn't enough. If you get Micah Parsons on the Bears, that will continue the Bears' legacy and their greatest defenders like Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, the Mongos, Steve McMichael, so many other guys you could point to, Brian Urlacher, just so many different guys. And Parsons really fits in that role, in my opinion. Now, you mentioned earlier that they might not have enough money to do that, which could definitely be the case. But I feel like that would make their defense a step above. And they already have a solid enough defense. This guy will make them, if he plays well, stays healthy, and does great on this team, which is not even a concern with Parsons. I think the Bears are poised to do something amazing in the North if they take him. Now, in terms of the teams on the list, the Cardinals might be a good option.
Yeah,
it's not realistic,
but no,
they do have a very underrated team.
But look at this. But why? Yeah. But why would? What does Arizona have in a trade that Dallas can take?
But then you look at that, which is what I was going to get to. What do they have for them in a trade? What I would like to see most, I would say he's definitely not going to be on the Jets. That's definitely a stretch. The Chargers, like you said, I agree. I definitely agree with you 100%. They need something to replace Bosa.
The Raiders.
To lose. The Raiders would be the best option from that list in my book. Not just because it'd be the most entertaining option.
I think the Raiders.
But I think that they're going to get the team together, and I think the Raiders are going to be a shocking team in 2 years. This season, I think they're going to be okay. The next season, I think they're going to be an amazing team. And if they get Parsons on that team this season, that would probably be the best trade that we've seen this entire season.
Oh, we got a comment down. Dylan says, "How much do you think we got to give up?" He's a Raiders fan. That's
a good question.
But Campbell said he's going back to Dallas. Campbell, I know he's going back to Dallas. This is just hypothetical. There's no way that the Cowboys are trading him. But if they do, what do we get in return? And what do the Raiders have to give up to get Micah? That's a great question.
I wish I knew.
I'm going to say they're going to have to give up at least 3 first-round picks for him. You maybe throw in a 3rd, 2nd rounder, and then you give a player. I don't know who the player is because I don't know all the contracts and shit. So I couldn't really tell you, Dylan, from my perspective on the Raiders. I do know you guys have a lot of good guys there. You have a lot of good assets. But again, I don't know. But I don't think Dallas is going to go for picks. It's got to be a swap of like this player, that player, and maybe a pick or two. But it has to be in a good sense for us, for the Cowboys to get. But I don't think there's a lot of guys out there that we can just swap unless it is picks. But to be honest, Jerry Jones doesn't do shit with picks. We've seen it in the past. He doesn't do shit. He's not aggressive. He doesn't go out and get the best of the best. He doesn't do anything.
Go out and get nothing. He gets the guy from the street, Zach.
We also were lucky that he actually decided to pick up CeeDee Lamb. We weren't supposed to get him. We decided to pick him up. I give him Zeke. He did really well with CeeDee Lamb. He fell in our lap. Micah did the same thing. Fell in our lap. So, and his draft class, he's other than Jamar Chase and there's somebody else, Surtain, and one other fucker that I'm not remembering. It's Sewell, the Detroit Lions offensive lineman. Those 3 in his draft class and Micah. All of those, and there were some other guys that were like, wow, how are they even in that draft class? They were picked ahead of him. You can arguably make a discussion that Micah is better than all of them those 3 guys I just named. Because all of them Jamar Chase went to a Super Bowl, but he didn't win it. Micah Parsons is equally as important as Jamar Chase is to the Bengals as Micah is. If Micah gets off the Dallas Cowboys defense, the Dallas defense is trash. Trash. Because there's no pass rush. None whatsoever. So I think that the Raiders definitely could get a thing, but I think it's just not going to work well. And I don't think it will work well like player-wise, but it won't work well money-wise and who we're getting back. Unless Jerry Jones wants picks, and I don't think he's going to do it because he never does well with picks. So, but I think ultimately, if I'm going to go on a limb here, guys, I'm going to go and say that Parsons is staying with the Cowboys. Even though all this shit about his message, all this shit, right? I think he's staying. You know why? Because we have his rights until 2028. The Cowboys do. So really, we have to trade him. He can request a trade all he wants. We have to make the decision. They have to make the decision. The general managers and everything have to make the decision to trade him.
Yep.
And I don't think they're going to do it. And if he holds out, then he's losing millions and millions of dollars. And that's on him. And we have that till 2028. He's not sitting out 3 years. There's going to be a deal done. I'm telling you, it's going to do what he did with Dak Prescott. That's going to, and it's horrible. And Campbell's saying it's horrible for relations, and it is. It's a terrible relationship they have. But to be honest, he's going to do what he did with Dak. Wait till the last second, right before the game, and he's going to give him the contract. And then everything's going to be all back to normal. But internally, it won't be. Outside, we'll be like, oh, everything's back to normal. But internally, these guys are not going to like each other anymore. And at 2028, he's going to be gone. After his contract is up, his new one, he's going to be gone. Once the rights are over, he's going to be gone. He's going to leave. Because of what
I feel like
he said, what's up with Parsons and his message being so admit about him leaving, even though the odds say he's back. That's terrible for relationships. Exactly. Both sides have made some stupid decisions. Parsons, I'll let you say something in a second. Yeah. Parsons decided to talk to Jerry and them without his agent, which was his fault from the beginning. But then at the same time, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones took advantage of him. They shouldn't have talked. They should have said, yo, this is a discussion that has to be done with your agent. I respectfully am not going to discuss this with you because this has nothing to do with you. You're the player. I got to talk to the agent. So there's the when the agent got involved, he's like, whoa. This is bull. We're changing all this shit around. This is not how it's going to go. And now all of a sudden, everything has to a standstill, and now Michael wants out. Very funny on how relationships are working like that. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a big time move here. I definitely think Micah stays. What's your take? Last thing.
Yeah, last words for this, Zach. I agree with a lot of what you said. I still possibly think this could happen, but being how conservative Jerry is, and beyond conservative actually in terms of contracts, he's just a stickler. He's a clown with it. We all know that. As the Raider fan who said in the chat, because I was going to answer his question earlier, I honestly don't know what the Cowboys would give to, or what the Raiders would give for that. I would say it's kind of along the lines of what you said, but I feel like that's a little too much for like 3 first-round picks in the next. What did you say? 3 first-round picks in the draft in the next draft?
If Buffalo. No. 3 first-round picks, 2026, 2027, 2028.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
Not 3 back in one draft next year. No.
But
3.
I would absolutely love to see this guy on the Raiders, and
it would be nice.
Could very well, honestly, still happen. Once his contract expires, though.
Sports Pros 88 comes in and says he's going to the Ravens. Buddy, he's not going to the Ravens.
Who said he's going to the Ravens?
Sports Pros 88, because he's a Ravens fan, so he's got to be trolling. He's got to be trolling.
I appreciate that guy's hype, but he's not going to the Ravens.
Yeah, no.
He's not. We're never going to see him on a Ravens uniform for a long time, buddy. If he goes to it, it's going to be at the twilight of his career if that happens.
Gavin, appreciate
That's
the
not going to happen now.
Gavin says he's going to the Patriots. Like I said, that's one of the guys on the list. They have the cap space for it, $60 million.
Yeah.
So they have it. The Steelers is another one. Again, I know he's got the hat on. Lorenzo's a Steelers fan, diehard. Yes, that's a possibility.
That's also a possibility.
He did say, HKY96 did see the vid of him saying he wanted to go to the Steelers. I did see that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. There was a thing.
I didn't even see that video.
The media day on draft or whatever the case was. I don't know where it was. He did say he would if he would leave Dallas, he would go back to PA or around Pittsburgh. It would be to the Steelers. So
yeah, and you know what? It's funny they say that because you get a bunch of these Eagle fans when this news dropped out, and they're all saying, "Oh, he's from Philly. You know what to do, Howie Roseman."
Oh my God! Yeah, he's not going.
Come on, Philly Eagles Mafia. Let's get him on the train. It's
he's not going to.
It's all rumors. It's
Yeah, I
all
know it
rumors,
is all
man.
rumor, and
It's
even
all
our stuff.
rumors.
And again, even Adam Schefter, like he knows this is kids, but he makes his best educated guess. Stephen A.
Yeah.
All of these guys are. Everyone here is making their educated guess. The only people that are gonna know are one or two, or there are two people. It's Micah and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Three people. Those
And
are the
his
only
agent.
two, and his agent. So four
And his
people.
agent.
There's only
Or his
four people.
family.
No. Sometimes they don't even talk to the family. It's four people.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They only care, and it's really about those four people. Those are the only four people that know what's about to happen. I'm going to say out of limb here, as a Cowboys fan and even non-biased Cowboys fan, he's staying in Dallas. It just makes no sense. Why would Dallas trade him?
I wanted to add one more point to that.
But wait. You said that Eagles fans are annoying. Campbell said Eagles fans are fucking annoying. HK96 agreed with Campbell. They are annoying. So we got some non-Eagles fans in here. We love it. Keep it with us.
Love to hear it, guys.
Kick them Eagles fans out of here.
Yeah, seriously, we love to hear it because
last point.
But my last thing before we go to our next subject of the night, most likely what's going to happen, what you're saying, I think if he does stay with the Cowboys, Jerry's going to do it at the last possible minute. Like you said, pay him more than he had to if he had just done it when everyone told him to do it.
Last
year.
Then
he's probably going to cost $45 million per year and reset the market after what the Steelers did with TJ Watt's $41 million per year.
Now,
much like the Bengals, a large percentage of their cap space, the Cowboys' cap space will soon go to only 3 players.
Yeah,
3. Can you guess what those 3 players will be?
CD and Micah.
Exactly.
Now,
I'm going to tell you. You want to go even further? Let's add a twist to this, buddy. You got Pickens. He's going to get shot. This is not going to be an Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin situation. This is going to be a jealousy situation. Pickens is going to crash out in the locker room after a year or two, and he's going to request a trade. And see who will be the top guy there. They're not going to have a good relationship. This is not going to end well if he stays with the Cowboys. He'll bottom line.
Hold on.
It doesn't matter if you're in.
Hold on.
Watch this from Maine to Spain.
I got.
You will see that this is not going to end well.
I got to call timeout. See, I know you have a salty thing because of Pickens and whatever.
The relationship. No. I'm happy you guys took him. I don't want him.
No. But I was
happy when the trade happened. Chat. I was happy when the trade happened.
The relationship between you and the Steelers and Pickens is pretty bad. But to be honest, the relationship between him and CD right now is looking pretty good. Again, I don't know what's in the future. I don't care about the future. I care about what's happening with this guy. I'm cool with having him for a season or two. He wants to leave. Good riddance. I don't care.
He's going to leave after I call it mid-season. Mid-season, week 10 or 11. He's going to leave.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
He's going to leave, bro.
We'll see. Whatever. We're not talking about that. It's
going to happen.
That's a whole different discussion. And again, that's your opinion because you didn't like the way he was on your team. I love his fire. I love the way he played. I'm cool with him. You know why? Because we had a guy named who do we have? Who do we have? We have a guy still thinks that he could play football now, which is Michael
Ezekiel Elliott.
We also had Zeke. No, Michael Irvin, which is a nut. We had Zeke.
Michael Irvin was one of the best receivers you had.
Yeah, but he is a nut. He is a crazy dude. That's what I'm saying.
Awesome.
Yes, he's awesome. He's so crazy.
He was
and
amazing.
Then on top of that, who else did we have? Number 81 that threw popcorn in his freaking face.
T.O. And you also had that tight end in the 90s.
So, I forgot his name. But what I'm saying is that we've had
the Cardinals.
We've had some crazy guys. I don't even want to know where all this goes.
Jay Novacek.
Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna move on to the another big news, which is Scary Terry, because HKY96 just asked about it, and we were about to get it. So we're gonna move to our second segment on today's show, and we're gonna be going into Scary Terry and where the hell is he gonna end up? Because to be honest, I'm not mad. As a Cowboys fan, I want that guy out of there because I love him. I actually really like him as a player. I hate him that he's on Washington. But yeah, so as we heard, Scary Terry, HKY96 appreciate the follow. But to be honest, I'm cool with this. They're just like the Cowboys. They're retarded. Excuse my language, but they're stupid. Like I don't understand how he was one of the best wide receivers last year in the game. I mean, I think they have his stats down here, if I'm not mistaken, unless they don't. But oh no, this is more of just where he's gonna go. But he's disappointed and frustrated. I would be too. There's no productivity with contract talks with him, and he was one of the best slot wide receivers / deep threats in the NFL last year for the Commanders. They went to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, like with a first year starter.
And it wasn't even his fault that they got blown out in that game. On top of that, never his fault.
I don't understand how we're not understanding. Then you bring in Debo. Why not pay him? You have a dual threat of Scary Terry and Debo. That is going to be a dangerous ass fucking duo, and you're not going to get it because you want to play devil's advocate and you want to be like, "Oh, I'm not going to give him money. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let him spoil out here." Like, why? He is one of the best. The same with Micah. Like, why are we waiting? It doesn't make any sense. So now some teams that are looking to bring in from the NFL app, NFL.com, looking to bring in Scary Terry. The Indianapolis Colts, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Los Angeles Chargers, the New York Jets, San Francisco. I think the Jets are out of it because they just paid Sauce Gardner. They just paid freaking Garrett Wilson all that money. So I don't think they're touching another person. The Chargers are different. They kind of need a guy like Scary Terry. I think he would be really well with Justin Herbert, and his arm would be pretty ridiculous to see. I wouldn't be mad to see him there. HKY96, I don't know. Maybe the Steelers, they probably should be here too.
We'll get to that. HK, we'll get to that in 1 second, my friend.
Yeah, he's
we'll
gonna
get to that in 1 second on my end.
Now, for me, I think the Colts are a good option. They definitely need somebody for Anthony Richardson to pair with I forgot his name. Number 11. I know him. I had him on my fantasy team a couple years ago.
What about Scary Terry and Daniel Jones?
Yeah, no, I don't want to see that. No. Anthony Richardson is going to be the quarterback. He's better than Daniel Jones.
I don't know.
Pittman. HKY96 says Pittman. You pair now Pittman.
Yeah.
In Indianapolis with Scary Terry helping out Anthony Richardson as a deep threat would be nice. I think that would pair really well. Now, you might think I'm crazy. Kansas City actually needs him. If you look at it in this sense, Rashid Rice has a problem with the law right now. He's going to be suspended. Xavier Worthy is really just a speedster. He needs to really develop his game a little bit more. Then you look at Marquise Brown. He got hurt. He's okay. He's getting a little thing. Juju Smith-Schuster sucks. I don't want to hear anything. He's like a last-minute guy. He's more of like an in-and-out route to the corner, very short route type of guy. He's not a deep guy that's going to hurt you. Once in a while he will, but he's not. So you really only have two guys here, Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy. And I give you one guy is actually good right now because Xavier Worthy doesn't know his potential because it's just been his first year and they didn't give him a lot of packages to run routes. So I'd say Marquise Brown is your main guy. You need another dude. I'm sorry, Lorenzo. You need another guy. I mean, if you're going to go out and you want to still compete, because I think the Chiefs on their constructive way they are, I think they make the playoffs, but I don't think they make the Super Bowl again. I think you bring Scary Terry into this whirlwind in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and his arm and his accuracy and the way he throws that ball. Now we're talking. Their offense is back to normal because now watch this. When Rashid Rice comes back from his suspension next year, when Xavier Worthy is getting better, when Marquise Brown is there, now you have Scary Terry. And then you still have Travis Kelce. Yes, he's not as good as he once was, but he's still somewhat Travis Kelce. That is not a bad take right there if he goes to Kansas City. And I'll take that because he's out of the NFC. I'm cool with that. The Raiders is another one. I think to help out Brock Bowers when it comes to wide receivers with Geno Smith, I think that will pen well. I think Geno Smith likes that type of guy, like Scary Terry. Slot guy, can really beat over the top, a great route runner. I'd say that this is a good matchup. So I'd say Kansas City, Indianapolis, and the Raiders are my top three. Chargers are on the outside looking in because of their cap. These are the three teams I think they can do it. What do you think?
I want to start from top to bottom of my thoughts on this trade because this was a big one that I wanted to talk about here.
All right.
First of all, I'll start from the beginning before we get to these teams and my thoughts on them. The impact of this trade is going to be insane if this happens. You have a guy who's been in the league since 2019 when Washington was still the Redskins, meaning he will be the only player, the last player that plays on this team that is left from the Washington Redskins team if they trade him. They won't have any. Yeah, no, that's the truth because none of their players from the 2019 Redskins are still on that team. None of them. They're all gone except for Scary Terry. So that will be a huge – that's history right there. And number two, why are we even talking about this? Washington, why is this a thing? Why are we having a conversation of you guys letting this guy walk the plank like that? He has over 6,000 yards, has put up in his career, he has over 6,000 yards receiving. He has put up 4 straight seasons, count them 5 straight seasons, excuse me, 5 straight seasons of over 1,000-yard receiving years, something that the Redskins have not had in a long time before Scary Terry. I don't remember them having a receiver like great as that since Art Monk, actually. And guess what? Funny enough, Zach, this happens with Scary Terry's trade issues. Well, guess what? They just retired the number of Art Monk last month. Isn't that ironic? They retired the number of one of their greatest receivers in their history and won't pay a guy who's their greatest receiver right now on their team. The irony is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Just put that in your head for 1 second. What other team did that before? I don't even think the Cowboys were that stupid. To retire a guy who's one of the best receivers in their franchise history and then not pay a guy who's the best at their time right now. That's wild. Anyways, back to our conversation here with the teams. I think now in the beginning when you talked about the Chiefs, I thought that I didn't think that was a good option for them. But then you explained to me, look at the situation they're in with their receivers. They are going to be crap in their passing game. In my opinion, they'll find a way to be decent.
Yeah.
But they're going to be crap. They're not going to be, I'm telling you, and I've said it since the beginning, this is not going to be the same team that you've seen in the Chiefs from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. This is not the same team. Last season, I didn't even think they were going to make the Super Bowl because they were a very lackluster team. They were one of the most lackluster teams to make a Super Bowl, in my opinion, and it really did show when the final curtain happened in 59. But this team really does need him. All the guys you mentioned, I mean, Xavier Worthy's already going down a bad hill. Marquise Brown, what you said with his injury. Raji Rice is okay, but Juju Smith-Schuster's he's ass. I'm just going to say it. He's terrible. He's not a good receiver. And I'm not saying that because I'm bitter with the Steelers. I never liked him on the Steelers, too.
I never liked
another guy I never liked on the Steelers. He's not AB. He's a T-move version of a good receiver. It's not a good passing team, like you said, though. It's not going to be an all-elite passing team, despite having Travis Kelce. He's on a limb during his year, so that's not a good option. The Colts is a really good option. I mean, the Chiefs is a good option, but the Colts is a sleeper option. But I don't believe that the Colts are going to pay for him the way that Terry would like it. That's just my thoughts. I don't think that I call them the glue factory because they've wasted a lot of players before. Yeah. I don't think the glue factory is going to be willing enough to pay that money that Terry will be satisfied with. So I think the Colts are not going to be on the top of that list. In fact, so the other teams that we saw down there, if you scroll down, was the Chargers and the Jets, right? What was that last team that this list talked about? I know they're not going, he's not going to the Jets. The Raiders, of course, that's probably their best, in my opinion, that's their best option. But the Chargers, like you said, they're going to lose the cap space. Jets, absolutely not. They've already, I'm surprised they even wrote that in this article because they already extended Wilson and their other receiver, Gardner.
Gardner's a cornerback, but still.
Yeah, a cornerback, but they still gave him a lot of money. And still, the Jets have already made the moves that they can, I think.
The 49ers, that's not bad.
The 49ers and the Raiders, in my book, that's what I'm surprised you didn't go over the 49ers in more detail because the 49ers, that would be a great option for them. That would be a great option, and they have the opportunity to do that because and John Lynch is a really good general manager. I trust him as a GM. I think he's a great GM compared to a lot of the guys.
I wish he was the Cowboys.
Yeah, I know.
It burns me to say, but I wish the Eagles guy was ours too.
Oh, but you know, he's an amazing GM, and I have a lot of faith in him. And Purdy and him it's gonna be a great deadly duo. I think.
I think he's a better Brandon Ayuk.
I agree with you. I agree. I think he's a much better version of Brandon Ayuk. But Brandon, like it says there in the article, Brandon Ayuk is battling a lot of injuries right now. When he gets healthy, and if they get McLaurin during the season, that could be a game changer for this team going into 2025. I still think the Niners are going to be a solid team next year. They're going to be much better than they were last season. But if they get Terry McLaurin, Shanahan's offense is going to be incredible. That is going to be an elevated offense, and they can honestly – they get him, I think they have a shot in winning the West again because it's not going to be the Seahawks. The Rams might be like a second option, but it's going to be between, to me, the 49ers and the Cardinals if they get Terry McLaurin. Now, if the Raiders get him, if the Raiders get him, we got a Raiders fan here in the chat tonight, right? If the Raiders get him, what an amazing move that will be. Geno, too. I still have faith in Geno Smith, by the way. I do. I think he's a solid player still, despite all the hate he gets in the media. He's still a solid QB, and I think that the Raiders will revive him. And Terry McLaurin, if he goes with him, that's going to be a perfect duo. I think they're going to be a deadly duo. And the Raiders should this is a guy they should invest in more than I think Parsons, much more than Parsons, because this is a guy that they needed, and they already have Bowers too. That amazing, one of the best rookie seasons in NFL history, Brock Bowers. Can you imagine how amazing that would be? In general, not just for tight end. That's a three-headed monster right there that you can possibly have on the Raiders again. And in my eyes, those are the two best options I think that Terry McLaurin should look for is the Raiders and the Niners with an amazing contract. And
well, you're also missing Ashton Genty.
And Ashton Genty. Oh, yeah, the rookie that's coming over. Yeah, that they drafted.
Running back.
That is going to be sweet.
A four-headed monster. Because I think he's really going to do really well.
And Crosby. Make that 5 heads, baby. 2X Crosby right there.
Possibly 6 if they get Micah.
All right, that's a little bit of a stretch. But, hey, if they get that, God bless them, because they'll be a top-rated team this year. They might win that division at that point.
There's no way they're losing the division unless something's rigged. But other than that, I think we're gonna call it today. I know I wanted to go over some of the MLB trade deadlines, but Justin and Lorenzo took care of that. If you guys want to get a sneak peek or just a rundown of what were the biggest moves in the MLB trade deadline that just happened over the last week or so and just finished up yesterday, you can check it out on our YouTube. Got about a 9-minute video of Lorenzo talking about it. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you can find it at the Fire Sports Pod. Last thing, Lorenzo.
Yeah, I want to say in terms of that MLB trade video before we sign off tonight. Justin does the Mets, I do the A's, the Phillies, the Yanks, the Padres, the Twins, all the big moves that you can ask for, all the big teams that had big busts or big wins.
Gotcha. Awesome.
All over Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, my friends.
All right, appreciate it. And that will be pretty much it for the show here on Season 8, Episode 17 on the Forest Sports Pod, powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. I'll see you guys all on Recap Monday for Season 8, Episode number 18. Catch you guys later. Peace.
Take it easy, guys.